Queen Elizabeth dies and the UK mourns. Plus massive Taylor Swift news, chimpanzees beat to their own drum, and more this week.
Over here! Hey, listen up!
Newsy Pooloozi. Hello and welcome to Newsy Pooloozi, the news pool for curious kids and adults. This week we find out how the United Kingdom is mourning the death of their queen, with a special report from England. Plus, researchers find out how our closest cousins, yes, chimpanzees, communicate in a thumping, loud way. Huge news for huge Taylor Swift fans like me. And find out what sus, adorkable, and yeet all have in common. I'm your host, Leela Shivshankar Prickett, and as ever, I'm joined by the big story explainer and sound effects finder, my mom.
Otherwise known as Lindy Prickett. Hello.
Yes, okay, that too. So let's dive on in. First up is the big
news story
of the week.
At the age of 96, the Queen of the United Kingdom has died, and the country is in mourning.
Queen Elizabeth II spent 70 years on the throne. Well, not literally sitting on the throne, but she was queen for over 7 decades.
She was the second longest-serving monarch in the history of the world. She was queen so long that she worked with 15 prime ministers of Britain and met hundreds of other world leaders, including 13 U.S. presidents.
Meowsers. But when you said she worked with 15 UK prime ministers, she didn't get to tell them what to do or anything, right?
That's right. Like most royalty these days, the British royal family are really just symbolic. But she was a much-loved figurehead for the most part. Some say her real job was keeping Britain together.
Yeah, tons of people are paying their respects to her. There's even been a National Day of Mourning declared, where kids get the day off of school and all.
Yeah, but I'm curious what the mood in the UK is right now.
Me too.
Well, let's cut across to our UK correspondent, Jackson Hosking, to tell us more.
Good idea. Hey, Jackson, thanks for joining us. I hear you get to take the day off school to honor the Queen.
We sure do, Leela. This is all part of what's being called the period of national mourning for Queen Elizabeth II.
How long does that last?
Until her state funeral, which is Monday the 19th of September.
Wow, that's 11 days of mourning. So is it really sad and somber in the UK right now?
Well, it's not like everybody is walking around crying or dragging their feet in a somber way. But sure, some people who are really big royalists, as in they love the royal family, are shedding a few tears. Most people really loved her being the Queen, including me. You might have even seen the thousands of people leaving flowers outside the Queen's 6 palaces. And in Scotland, people packed out the streets to see her casket going from her favourite home, Balmoral Castle, where she died, to the Scottish capital of Edinburgh. The casket will be on display there and then in London for hundreds of thousands of people to pay their respects.
So who will attend the state funeral? Do we know yet? I guess it's going to be a huge event.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will be, but the guest list hasn't been published yet. Though US President Joe Biden already said he'll attend. I'm sure most big world leaders will too.
So Jackson, when I was in London this summer, I was seeing ER everywhere, as in Elizabeth Regina. Regina means reigning or ruling queen, right?
That's right, and Rex is for king.
Well, that royal symbol is everywhere. It's on the mail or post boxes, on gates and bollards outside official buildings, on documents even. It's all gonna have to go, right?
You said it, Leela. Not to mention all the money, coins and bills they'll have to change to CR, Charles Rex.
Oh wow, that'll be a massive undertaking.
Tell me about it. But it will happen, gradually, and the old money will still be legal for a long, long time.
Well, that's good. So when will her son, King Charles III, be crowned, as in his coronation?
No date has been set yet because of the planning required. Because yes, it will be full of British pomp and ceremony.
But he's now officially the king, right?
Yes, a couple of days ago, King Charles III was proclaimed the United Kingdom's monarch in an ancient ceremony.
Prince Charles Philip Arthur George is now, by the death of our late sovereign of happy memory, become our only lawful and rightful liege lord, Charles III.
I hear one of his first acts as monarch was to approve a national holiday on the day of the Queen's funeral. Meaning, you get to miss school.
Indeed I do.
So what will you be doing to mark the occasion, Jackson? Dressing up in your finest clothes with a bowl of popcorn, sitting, or should I say standing to attention in front of the television? Or should I say telly?
Yeah, right. How did you know, Leela?
3 cheers for His Majesty the King. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip!
It's the call of nature. Get on your safari suit
Or squeeze into your scuba gear.
and get ready to hop into a Jeep.
Or a submarine.
Submarine.
Because Mother Nature is calling.
Nature.
So we all know chimpanzees, which come from the forest of Central Africa, are highly intelligent, highly social animals, right?
Yes, and humans' closest cousins. We share about 98% of the same DNA.
Though they spend most of their time in the treetops. When they do come down, they usually travel on all fours. Though they can walk on their legs, like humans, for as far as a mile.
Woo, impressive. And by the way, lots of fab facts you're giving us there, Leela.
Yes, and now to the new news. Did you know that chimpanzees communicate like this?
That's a lot of shrieking and screeching.
But did you hear the drumming?
Oh, no. Okay, let me hear some more. Oh.
Yes, indeed. Of course, they don't have a set of bongo drums, but a huge exposed tree roots that they use. And it's not just for a bit of jungle drum and bass dancing either.
No?
Oh no. This, believe it or not, is also how they communicate.
What? No way.
Yes way, researchers followed a bunch of chimps around a Ugandan rainforest and found out that each male chimp used a distinct signature pattern of beats to send out a message to each other over long distances, like who is where and what they're doing.
Whoa, that's so interesting. I guess that gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, beating to your own drum, doesn't it?
You said it. What's that? I'll tell you what. That's the halftime bell, which means it's time to hear what's making news around the rest of the world. Hold on tight. It's
Around the World in 80 seconds.
Hold tight.
Ukraine launches a massive counterattack against invading Russian troops, managing to take back some of its towns and villages in the northeast of the country. This is said to be a possible turning point in the 7-month-old war. In the U.S., samples of wastewater in New York are showing signs of polio, an old virus that causes people to become paralyzed, prompting the governor to declare a state of emergency. Polio was largely eradicated by vaccinations in the 1960s, but officials say vaccination rates today are now worryingly low. Speaking of vaccines, scientists at the University of Oxford develop a malaria vaccine with world-changing potential. It's expected to be rolled out next year after drug trials showed up to 80% protection against the deadly disease that is passed on by mosquitoes. And Disney fans are delighted as the trailer for the upcoming Little Mermaid film is out. Loads of people are excited to see a black actress in the starring role of Ariel in this live-action version inspired by the 1989 animation.
As ever, thank you so much for that whippity-wappity, zippity-zappity rap of what's making headlines elsewhere in the world, Mama.
You get faster with that every single time.
Whippity-wappity, zippity-zappity rap.
Oh, you're so welcome, Leela.
Now it's the ACE part of our podcast. That stands for Art, Culture, and Entertainment.
Darling.
Well, folks, ICYMI, in case you missed it, we admitted to pre-recording our last show a bit earlier than usual, so we might have missed some big news.
Yeah, like Liz Truss becoming the new Prime Minister of the UK.
Oh, yeah! But I'm talking more about the Prime Minister of Pop. Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift! Yes, folks, I'm talking Taylor Swift. After weeks, no, months and months of waiting and speculation, the U.S. pop star finally announced the date she'll be releasing her new, much-anticipated, long-awaited album.
Well, when?
October 21st. In fact, in honor of this auspicious occasion, I'm christening that day as my cat's birthday too, since we're not really sure when she was born.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift loves cats too. Check out the beginning of her Miss Americana movie. That's part of what makes her so cool.
Okay, and does the album have a name?
Oh, yes. It'll be Midnights, named after the story of, and I quote, 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout my life. A journey through terrors and sweet dreams, because 13 is her favorite number. October 21st, midnight, of course. Mark your calendars.
All right, let's now hear about a cool thing that happened in California recently.
Kindness Corner.
Cool.
They did what?
Seriously?
What?
How cool is that?
No way.
Cool.
So we know it's been super hot this summer all over the Northern Hemisphere, right?
Oh, yeah.
And what do those of us lucky ones do when it's hot?
Turn on the AC.
Exactly. But that means...
Using a lot of electricity.
Yep, which is not great for the environment. And as we know well here in India...
Hey, who turned off the lights?
It can also lead to power cuts. Well, that's why the electricity company in California decided to send out an emergency text message asking residents to limit their energy use for just 3 hours to try and prevent a power cut. It was a bit of a long shot, but guess what happened?
What?
It worked. Well, it seemed to. Electricity use certainly went down hours after the text went out.
What? You mean everyone cooperated?
Well, it seems as though enough people did. It's presumed that people started switching off all sorts of things. TVs, computers, and even Wi-Fis that just get left on for hours, eating unnecessary electricity. Some people probably even cut their AC, perhaps opting to have a cold shower instead.
Or jumping into a swimming pool, more like.
For the lucky ones, yes, probably. It seems enough people did their bit and the power cut was avoided. Cool or what?
That's what's called a community in action.
Step right up.
Step right up.
Have a go at the lucky dip machine.
The lucky dip machine. What's it going
What's
to
it
be
going to
today?
be today, eh?
An oddball, no doubt.
An oddball, no doubt. Big news, folks. ICYMI. The metaverse is more sus than adorkable, possibly even janky. And no, this isn't a SpotCon either. Yeet.
Mama, are you okay? Did the printer drop out letters from your script again?
Oh no, everything is intact. Nothing janky going on here. I don't have a dumb phone or anything, okay?
Cut! Mama, what are you talking about?
Roll the tape again. I'm talking about the 370 new words and definitions added to the Merriam Webster dictionary.
Oh, that time of year again, huh?
Yep, the metaverse is official. ICYMI has moved from an acronym to its own word.
And in case you don't know, it stands for, in case you missed it, of course.
Sus has also made it into the dictionary.
And that would be a very cute way of saying suspicious, for those who might not know.
And janky is, as far as I can tell, a screechy way of saying junky. Janky!
Mother!
Okay, yeet is way more complicated.
Not really.
Yeah, okay, it's all-encompassing then.
It just means surprise.
Well, according to the dictionary, it also means approval and enthusiasm.
Maybe that was a decade ago, like to you old folks, Mom. Today it just means to be thrown with force. Yeet!
Okay, well, who am I to question the dictionary?
Well, you can. It's not like Merriam Webster is sponsoring us or anything.
Yep, this story is not SpawnCon.
As in sponsored content.
Though, you know, we are open to a bit of sponsorship, by the way.
Sure. As long as it's not sus.
True. Adorkable is allowed, though.
Oh yeah, we love something that's a bit dorky or socially awkward in a completely adorable way. Like you, Mama. Sometimes.
Thanks, I think. And it's time to wrap up the podcast with
The top 5 facts heard today.
Fab fact number 1. Queen Elizabeth II has died, and her son, King Charles III, will take over. There will be a lot of changes that have to take place, removing the royal symbol of ER from loads of places. What does ER stand for? Elizabeth Regina. Fab fact number 2.
How long was Queen Elizabeth II the monarch of the United Kingdom? 70 years.
Fab fact number 3. Queen Elizabeth's son, Charles III, will be crowned as the next monarch in a ceremony that is called what? The coronation. Fab fact number 4.
Scientists find that wild chimpanzees have their own signature drumming style, which they use to communicate over long distances. Chimps share how much of the same DNA with humans? 98%.
Fab fact number 5. Every year, new words make it into the dictionary, like sus, yeet, and adorkable. Which dictionary is including these? The Merriam Webster Dictionary. And don't forget, if you want to test yourself later on, then go to the Lucky Dip page of our website, newsypooloozi.com. That's Pooloozi like pool, Pooloozi, and take this quiz online in your own time.
I repeat, POOLOOZI.com.
The robot is laughing.
Brings us to the end of this episode of Newsy Pooloozi. But first, having trouble sleeping? Never fear, Coco is here.
Hello, Abby here. If you've got children and find bedtime's a struggle, I'd like to tell you about Coco Sleep, a children's story podcast designed to make bedtime a dream. Coco Sleep turns a chaotic bedtime into cozy bonding time. The stories are delivered in a pace that gently slows. Rumour has it that no one's ever heard an ending. So search Coco Sleep on your favourite podcast app and let's make bedtime a dream. That's KOKO Sleep, and I'll see you there.
If you enjoyed this dip in the coolest pool of news and information, then smash that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Alexa, or wherever you get your podcasts.
While you're at it, give us a good rating. Or better still, leave us a review. Go on, we'll read it out loud if you do.
Alrighty then, see you next week in the happy, splashy, giant Newsy Pooloozi.